welcome back everybody to 4-Stroke Cards. We are at Adams Racetrack and it's going to be a good time. Let's see. I haven't been here in quite a while since the bike popped. I went to Apex like 4 times after it did, so I've got a dial. It's back to 1, and now back here at Adams to see if I can work on a little bit of braking and just going to another track altogether. I've been going to Apex so much, I thought, okay, you know what? I'm not a big fan of Adams because of how much slamming on the brakes and going and how like straight brake it is. There's not really smooth transitions and stuff like that, apart from one area that is really low geared for like a 450, in my case 250. It's really good for the minis, but I have to do the work. I have to push myself to switch directions, to chase all the riders that are faster than me, to learn some more from them and kind of like practice other movements. I realize I'm on my hands a lot. I'm on my hands and arms a lot here because I don't know how to move my body to this track. I've never taken the 250 to this track before. I've only been here with the 150. So yeah, trying to get used to it. Trying to, at Apex, my arms are like jello and my feet are doing all the work. Here, I just went in one session, arms all over like fucking gripping like that. So I don't know what to do, so I gotta figure it out. But anyway, I'll report back to you guys. There will be some footage of this later. Welcome back to 4-Stroke Cards. Thank you for watching another video, supporting the channel. Channel supports you all riding here on the West Coast. And if you want a shout out, if you got a product or whatever you want me to plug in, go for it. No money. I'm just trying to support the folks. Oh, actually, a big shout out to Sylvia and Crino and all the guys from so-called Supermoto. They are here somewhere. They are with a lot of motorcycles. And I just want to let you guys know that if you've never tried to come to a kart track or do Supermoto, or if you just want to get better at riding motorcycles, period, just come to them. Go get a class from them. It's pretty good. It's like $250, $300. I don't know how much they are anymore these days, but they're worth every penny. They've got a beautiful fleet of bikes. Great guys like churning them out. Connor's working right there, making sure that all the things are a little dialed for y'all when you come over. A big shout out to so-called Supermoto. Go check them out on Instagram, on YouTube. I'll put a link somewhere here if I can. And they're awesome. Try it out.
And we're back on the track. So yeah, loving this. Adams is something pretty spectacular. I mean, it's a track. It's one of the coolest tracks here on the West Coast, here close to Los Angeles, and it forces you to work on things that I needed to work on, to be honest, man. I was not having a good time with the braking situation, and I thought to myself, you know what, come to Adams, make it happen. So yeah, this track is really good for accelerating and braking, lots of straights followed by like a really narrow U-turn like this one right here, and it's really good. It's really good to work on your front end. It's really good to work in the front feeling. It's really good to practice your back it in part of sort of situation. Like look at this hairpin right here. It's such a tight U-shaped first gear situation. It's really good to like stomp on the rear, start stomping on the rear brake, and whether you have a slip clutch or whether a slipper clutch or whether you don't, or whether you do them manually, it's a really good place to practice your back it in situations. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Here, Monza, they call this Big Monza, by the way, this entry point. It's actually banked. You don't see it really well in the video because you're like, you're on board of the motorcycle, but it's a really good banked corner with elevation that helps you really push the front. This little zigzag is really tricky, but really great. And when you get a good drive out of it, it's really nice. And stopping here in this hairpin, hairpin number 1, Big Monza. This is little hairpin over there. This is called Little Monza. As you can see, it's banked as well. So between Big Monza and Little Monza, you can get a lot of back in practice. This little zigzag situation is pretty cool. You got a nice little right sweeper here. A lot of times when you go to Apex, everybody that's been there notices that their left side of the tire gets worn a lot. And Adams wears down the right side a lot as well. There's a lot of right corners. Most of it is right corners, the grand majority of the time. So it's great to practice between Adams and Apex. By the way, when you go to Adams, you get to pay $50, kind of like the night before. If you book the day before online, if you get there, you have to pay $75. So try to book ahead of time if you can. let's talk about what not to do on track. So chasing one of the guys that I met over there with a 450, I wanted to see what the differences were with the motor between the 450 and the 250. And you know, obviously you can see here in the straights but what happens, but we're gonna see what happens when you don't do things right, which unfortunately is what I did. Apex is a really hard track to pass. This area where I'm getting closer to him right now is the only place where you might have a shot, to be honest, to have a pass if you have a good early exit. Every other exit, if the other rider is as good as you, is gonna be a game of balls to the braking part, or is gonna be a mistake that the other person makes, because this track is really tight and there's not enough kind of like lines to trace, different lines. So see, for example, here is stuffing time. Like everywhere you go in Adams is all about stuffing or outbraking the other person if you have the nuts to do it. So we can see here on the straights he goes away. That 450 has a lot of power, but here under braking I can get closer, so the only advantage I have in here is braking, little tighter line there. And right here, this exit, if you exit this exit right, like right here where I got a little more momentum, you can brake, but look, I touched the dirt. Yeah, what not to do. I could have eaten it really hard. I passed by that patch and then I touched the rear brake as soon as we came back to the asphalt patch. Yeah, I saved it by fucking miracle. They never do it again. Please don't do this at home. So just done with the first few sessions. It was good. It's a little bit of dirt with Soka Supermoto's dirt session. They're doing dope. They're doing great, all these students. But anyway, feeling good. I think it was good to come to Adams because it's you know, you just got to practice things that you can't practice over at Apex, especially the braking. I can brake really hard here because there's such a U-shape. Apex says in two places. You can just brake and top rack the whole thing. Gotta keep on top of the air suspension in the front. Big shout out to Bobby, Motor Ref Suspension Tuning. Did a great job on it. The thing feels fantastic once you get the pressures dialed. Things with air forks, but I love him. And yeah, man, can't wait for you to guys see the next sessions. And what else? That's it, really. Karina's in the house. He's over there. Good to follow him for a little bit. I got my bearings together on some of the, you know, he's riding at 150 really fast, so I can really see the pointers of the 150 and how flexible and fast it is, flipping left and right in this area. So I'm trying to, you know, to get this guy to turn. So I got to change the rear shock a little bit, the suspension settings in this track, because there are so many flip-flop situations where it just catapults you. I got to slow down the rebound a little bit. I'm going to try that out in the next run and see how it goes. Alright, and we're back. Let's see how it goes. I changed the PSIs on the preloads and I put the compression in just a little bit because it was dive bombing a lot, but it feels much better. These air suspensions are really good. You just have to be on top of them and be okay with that. You have to decompress one of the forks from time to time because it builds up air, so it's got a little valve for you to like let air out. And then you've got to make sure that because of the temperature changes between the morning and the afternoon, that your preload air chamber is the same. And mine is supposed to be 100 psi, 140 psi, but it goes up to 150 when it's really hot. It goes down to 135 when it's, you know, cold in the mornings, and it changes through the day, so it changes the characteristics of the preload. But as long as you every 2 or 3 sessions you come out and you check it, you'll be fine. Just to let you guys know, if you're still tuned in, I'm gonna do a review of Adams. I shot this a whole session in slow motion, so we're gonna be able to see this 360 camera with slow motion video reviewing how I drive in this track. I'm not the fastest rider on the planet, but I am getting up there. I can kind of keep up with the 450s-ish, if it's not Damiano, of course, or some of the pros. But it will give you a really good insight on what to do, what line to take, how to move, where to brake, and basically your lines. If you're new to this track, or if you just want to figure out, I don't know, something, hopefully this helps. But that's going to be the next video. It's going to be fun. It's gonna be hopefully it's gonna be like 2 or 3 laps, so 8 minutes or so. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, guys. I'm gonna leave you with some more riding, and yeah, I'm just gonna be soloing this run and trying to get push times. I'm trying to come down to the 47s again. I used to do 48s on the 150. I think I'm doing 48 halves in this track, or 49s. Just getting used to it again. But yeah, hopefully with the 450, with the 250, I can get closer to the 450 times and have a chance to fight. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Again, if anybody wants a shout out of their business or whatever, just send me an email, send me a text, or send me a message down below in the comments, and then we'll do a collab or whatever, you know. Just, again, no money. I just want to help everybody move forward. By the way, look out for Magnum Motorsports. I'm going to do some videos of them reviewing some of their bikes. I'm going to do a review of the differences between a 450 enduro motorcycle and a 450 FS, and what the differences are. Hopefully with his son. He's a professional racer in Supermoto categories. And then I'm going to review a couple of adventure bikes, as well as giving you a tour. There are 4 or 5 different videos, but giving you a tour of what the dealership looks like and what they offer. They sell Husqvarna, gas, and KTM, which is super dope. And they also have a power parts section for the KTM, where you can buy a shit ton of everything, you know, exhausts, parts, like all kinds of parts for your motorcycle. Not only for maintenance, but like actual racing parts, which is super dope. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next run. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Thank you for everything. Peace.